If the roar of the crowd gives you goosebumps, catching a slip makes you grin, and above all, you love making your bookie cry, then you're in the right place. The #1 spot for premier betting advice and wild opinions, shared with a fan base like no other. Welcome home. This is the Punch List MMA Podcast.
We're back. Let me turn it up so I can hear myself. Let me get a sip of the old high quality H2O. We're back. It's been a couple weeks. Family, friends, goons, goblins. We're back, though. We are back. We're feeling good. Feeling better. Let's put it that way. I'm feeling better. I usually talk for a minute before I talk about the chat, but Shady was in here very first thing. I was 1 minute late, and he hits me in the chat. Are we on the BLM time schedule? I don't think you're talking about the Bureau of Land Management. So, yeah, man. Thanks, Adam. Appreciate it. Adam says, welcome back. Good to see you doing better. Yeah. So I'll catch you up. Those of you who don't do the social media thing, but do listen to the show, you're probably like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. What happened? A couple weeks ago, I woke up. So there was no pre-existing condition thing. I woke up. I had a small lump, and throughout the course of the day, legitimately, like a span of not even 8 hours, this small lump turned into something the size of my fist, was just expanding rapidly. So obviously that felt like something that needed close attention. Started to not feel well, cold, shakes, the whole nine. Went to Fast ER Care, and they cut it and drained it like Rocky Balboa, just cut me, Mick, cut me. Like that's what they did. And probably about 90 minutes later, I was in the car with my wife driving me to the emergency room. I was septic. I had sepsis from this staph infection. And my body was shutting it down to try to figure out what to do. And to be honest with you, man, had I not had a highly trained medical professional for a spouse and just did my Tommy Tough Guy routine like I was going to do, I was just going to go home and lay down. Things could have got spicy. So it was weird. It was very weird. Most vulnerable I've ever been in that regard. Now, we've talked about it before. I've had broken bones. I've had, the ligament thing, but I've never had anything. I mean, I'm a relatively healthy person, all things considered, and that could have ended really bad. So, thankfully, like I said, my wife is in the medical field. She recognized that something was very, very wrong with me, and she got me where I needed to go. So, shout out to a real one. So, but yeah, it could have been really bad. So they put me on a bunch of antibiotics, enough to bring Lazarus back from the dead, and they've just been kind of tearing my stomach up, man, as we get on the up and up. And last week I thought I was good to go, and I was still pretty queasy, still not feeling too great. So we're back. We are back in that regard. So back to your regularly scheduled programming. It's been a busy couple weeks, right? It's been a busy couple weeks. We had a very big UFC 291 took place this past weekend. Justin Gaethje, head kick knockout of Dustin Poirier, which was great. The only money line bet I got right on the card. I was due to just get throttled, right? We had four events in a row up 34 units over 4 events, I was due to get smashed, and I let the ego get in the way, and I got smashed. I think the Gaethje play and like a 2-leg parlay that I put on betmma.tips hit. Everything else I got absolutely smacked. Semmelsberger losing right off the rip pretty much cemented a losing night for me, because I thought Semmelsberger would crush Euroshmetic, and he didn't look like that. Semmelsberger looked really gaunt. He looked like a goblin. He was like real, like that orc haircut with like really sunken, like his cheeks were really sunk, and the ear, like he very Orkin Lord of the Rings. You know, it's weird that he goes by the Jedi. He had a very Tolkien style look to him. But Euroshmetic knocked him out. Close fight between Jan Blachowicz and Alex Pereira. Close fights aren't robberies. I scored it for Jan. Most people scored it for Pereira. It is what it is, right? When you leave it to the judges, you got nobody to blame but yourself sometimes. Shady says, "Why did he go to the ground, buddy? I don't know. I don't know. I don't. Again, we've talked about this. These guys just abandon, and girls, they just abandon what's working, right? Like I really wish. Here's 2 things I really wish for. One, I wish referees would start taking points more for just anything and everything. Just start taking points. Let's get a couple like 7-5 rounds in there. And then the other thing that I wish that they would do is I wish fighters would adopt the mentality of, you know what, I'll give credit where credit's due. Like the Kevin Holland Wonderboy fight, right? Like Kevin Holland took Wonderboy down for a split second, but then he stood right back up, right? And called him back up. Or the Nate Landwehr David Onama fight, more recent memory, knocks Onama down and then calls him back up. Get back up. Didn't follow him to the ground. I wish we would see more of that. So I really wish we would see more of that. And I mean, to be fair, it cost Semmelsberger the fight. Most likely cost him the fight. Throwing everything as hard as humanly possible probably didn't help matters much, but he appeared to be in pretty good shape. Appeared to be ready, and it just didn't shake out for him. But you know, it is what it is. We had a great night of violence in that regard. It took us a while to see the scorecards, which was great because, like we said, the judges have sucked tremendously lately. So it was good to get some violence in there, right? So Miranda Maverick came through, cashed that sub prop. Jake Matthews, look, I don't have much to say about Darius Flowers right now. There's a lot of people that thought that was a good body kick, and a lot of people thought he, hold on a second. Wait a second. Oh, dude, you're cutting me. This is mid-sentence. Stoney, the Stoney, is in here. I can't believe it. Stoney, I miss you, man. I miss you. Like you're such my dude, man. Like that. This makes me real happy. This is OG listeners will know how much anybody from the Run It Back podcast makes me happy, but Stoney really makes me happy. I'm like fangirling out. This is my dude. I miss you, buddy. I hope you're well. I hope your beautiful family's well. I miss you, man. So hit me up on the Bird app or X now, so we can connect outside of here. That's my man's. All right. If you're a ground guy, I understand, says Shady, but after you crack someone, wave them back up, right? Get them up, man. Get them up, dude. I love it. All right. So I thought the body kick from Jake Matthews was good. The trajectory going up looked better than like the heel going forward into the nuts. Anyway, Roman Kopylov, fantastic head kick over Claudio Ribeiro, which is awesome. Gabriel Bonfim choked out Trevin Giles, and some people made it to be like a coming out party. I don't know if I'm there yet. Choking out Trevin Giles. It's a great win, man. I'm super happy for you. I don't know if that's your coming out party is beating Officer Giles. So, Kevin Holland beat up Michael Chiesa. Yeah. Yeah, I felt real bad about my Chiesa play when he came out, and my man was all grayed up in the beard, and you could just kind of tell, like you could tell. So I think he's officially done, which should have known better. That desk duty really changes some things, perspective and aggression wise. So Shady says Officer Giles down. Yes, sir. I'm trying not to make an Officer Down joke. Freaking road pirates. Bobby Green choked Tony Ferguson unconscious. Okay. Can we talk about this for a split second? Let's put everybody put your thinking caps on. I got a rogue nose hair. I apologize for the whistling. The Tony Ferguson, Nate Diaz fight was one of the weirdest fights we've ever seen, right? Was easily one of the weirdest fights we've ever seen. On top of the fact, many of the tinfoil hat wearing folks like myself really thought it was interesting how Tony Ferguson just immediately put himself in the position of the guillotine from Nate, and then sort of even allowed Nate to readjust it to get it tighter, and then tapped immediately to it. So then Tony, I don't know whether it was an embedded or what video I saw this week, was talking about the Nate Diaz fight. Maybe it was a like a media day. And he goes on to say that he just wanted Nate to get his submission and get out of there, right? Like he just wanted to get the submission and just let him get out of there, which sounds like a thrown fight. It sounds like you threw the fight, which on a fight which already looked like it was scripted to begin with. Because then we see him in the Bobby Green fight. Okay, can we just be really honest here? I got to say a mean thing to continue my point. Tony Ferguson looks so bad right now. It looks like he doesn't train to fight. Like he doesn't know. Like it looks like he doesn't know how to fight. It looks like he doesn't know how to fight. His chin is sky high. He throws his punches from here, and every time somebody starts to hit him, he literally like spins away. Like when you see like two old like videos of like two old guys fighting in a parking lot, like he's spinning away and like swinging behind him to try to like get like that. That's a grown. That was a dude that was over the course of 4 years was 12-0. The boogeyman, El Kukui, the boogeyman. I don't know what's happening. Like, is that the clone? Is that a clone of Tony Ferguson? It's like he forgot. Like, well, Diego Sanchez is the same thing. It was like you went from knowing how to fight to like something switches where like the brain just doesn't do it anymore, doesn't know how to do it, whatever. Anyway, so fast forward to the third round. Bobby Green gets that head and arm and starts to squeeze, and Tony Ferguson refuses to tap out. It's a much tighter choke. He's in a much worse position, and he's getting the snot squeezed out of him. He refuses to tap. Goes out. He goes out cold. But yet he like just got down on his knees and stuck his neck out for Nate Diaz and let Nate Diaz, and then he just immediately tapped. I mean, one looks like a real fight. The other one looks like a thrown fight or scripted, staged. Take from that what you will. Anyway, all right. Derek Lewis comes out in Ben Askren's Marcos Rogerio de Lima. That was the other, like if we had a sandwich, right? We had Semmelsberger losing. That was the bottom bun, right? That was the bottom bun. And then the meat, like the big mouthful meaty part of the shit sandwich would have been Marcos Rogerio de Lima getting Ben Askren by Derek Lewis. And then the little piece of bread on top was Jan Blachowicz losing by freaking split decision to Alex Pereira. So we lost all the monies. We lost a lot of monies on Saturday, but we're going to make some back. we're gonna have some, yeah, shady. I got him at the same line, bro. So yes, I am aware. As soon as it came out, I was like, yes, ticket, please. And that was bad news bears. Um, what's up, boys? Late to the party. Good to see you back. Thank you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Thanks for checking in on me throughout too. Means a lot. So thank you. Okay. So let's talk about it real quick. We've got 5 best bets for this upcoming card. Jake is not here tonight, so it's just me, which means you get an audio only, right? We're just going to do audio only. So my first bet of the night, I had the opportunity to see this guy fight live against Movsar Evloev, where he put up a fantastic performance, albeit a losing one. Seeing him fight in person was fantastic, and you could kind of, it's a very different feel as far as gauging someone's ability to rise to an occasion. So first confident bet of the evening for our 5 best bets going to be Diego Lopez money line. Now that's available on a wide spectrum here. Okay. So if you're using the overseas books, Sportsbet has them right now at minus 135. But if you're over here, you're looking at minus 160 to minus 180 range is where he's out there. He's going up against Gavin Tucker. Gavin Tucker, there's going to be a little bit. Yes, nom. There's going to be some. Let's go over the narratives around Gavin Tucker. Why the Gavin Tucker narrative or what it will be this week, right? So Diego Lopez will be a popular play this week, and it's for a couple reasons. One, Gavin Tucker is super old. All things considered, for a lower weight class, he's getting old. He's 37 years old. As a 37-year-old, I know how that feels. I can't imagine being 37 and weighing 145 pounds. Maybe I'd feel better. I don't know. But it's a lot. And age usually equates to speed loss in the lighter weight classes, and you can't afford to be slow. He hasn't fought in 2 years. This will be the second point you hear people say. He hasn't fought in 2 years. Last time he fought, he got slept by Dan Ige. My pushback on Gavin Tucker is this. At times, he has looked very, very good. But if we're looking back over his wins, Sungwoo Choi, Justin James, and Billy Q. The Billy Q win is the only quality win that he has. He's the only quality win that he has. And it's not enough for me to say, oh, he should be worth consideration against Diego Lopez. I'm not going to factor in that he's coming off of a knockout. Again, it's been 2 years. But the other thing, and this is the number 3 thing that you need to think about before fading this play, is that he's coming off major reconstructive shoulder surgery. So 2 years away, knockout, and then 2 years away due to shoulder surgery. So I don't want to say I don't see Diego Lopez having a hard time. I mean, it's high stakes punch face. Anything can happen. But he has shown himself to be a gamer. The line is still playable, and Gavin Tucker hasn't shown us anything in a long period of time. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to fade Gavin Tucker here. Diego Lopez money line is going to be the first confident play of the night. Second confident play of the night. I don't really have one. I'm going to bury the lead for you guys here. There's not a lot that I feel super confident in. I love the Diego Lopez money line play. The other one that I'm looking at too is Jeremiah Wells. Jeremiah Wells over Carlston Harris. Carlston Harris, depending on, again, where you're looking at the lines, we're seeing Jeremiah Wells as a slight favorite, the minus 120 spot, all the way up to some books have him at minus 160. So the exposure there is great. There's a big spectrum to choose from, which means you can probably still get a decent line. Carlston Harris, you're going to hear people talk about the unorthodox striking. You're going to hear them talk about his submission threats. And really it's kind of maybe fading the chin of Jeremiah Wells because he can get booped and bopped and get rocked. But outside of that, Carlston Harris has a really bad gas tank. He has a really bad chin. And if he can't get you, down whenever you're dry, I don't really see the threat here. Jeremiah Wells built like a Ninja Turtle, big thick back from that Sean Brady gym, whatever it is that they do there, that everybody gets real thick backed. I like Jeremiah Wells here, at least as far as body of work is concerned. I don't know why this line isn't wider, which maybe I'm being trapped here. I don't feel like this is a Holly Holm, Myra Bueno Silva style trap where they're really trying to get us. And in my case, they did get me, even though I was like, that week I said, this is a trap and I'm still going to do it anyway. And I did it. And it was a trap. Carlston Harris is coming over a lackluster win over Jared Gooden, the night train, right? Wins, not good. Christian Aguilar, Impa Kasangane, who's a light heavyweight in the PFL now. So go figure there. And he lost to Shavkat, right? But the thing is, he's never looked good in anything. I've never watched that. Like, that Carlston Harris guy, that's somebody to look out for. Now, I'm not going to sit here and sing the praises of Jeremiah Wells with a win over Blood Diamond, but he slept Court McGee, who's notoriously durable, minus the last two fights, the Jeremiah Wells and the Matt Brown fight. Before that, Court McGee was notoriously hard to finish, and he had the split decision over Semmelsberger, which I was on the Semmelsberger side of, but I get. But win over Worley Alves. Worley Alves is light years better than anybody that Carlston Harris has beaten. So we can MMA math this till we're blue. But I like the wrestling from Wells. I like the power from Wells. I like the cardio from Wells. I think he has advantages everywhere. Maybe not submission, like straight submission. But I think he's better. I think he's better everywhere. And I like him in the spot. So we're on Jeremiah Wells. We're on Diego Lopez. Those are 1 and 2. Women's science play. Let's go ahead and talk about women's science real quick. Women's science. We have Tatiana Suarez and Jessica Andrade. Suarez minus 400, minus 5+ on Sportsbet. Really prohibitively favored there. Taking on Jessica Andrade, championship caliber. You can get her anywhere from plus 230 up to 300+. It's an automatic have to play. Now, I'm not sitting here saying we unload on it, but Tatiana Suarez, while very good, she is very good, and quite possibly a future champion. She is. Let's not pretend that she didn't spend 4 years away and come back and win a fight, and that she's prone to injuries and ailments. So just consider the smallest possibility of a women's science play. Now, that said, I don't believe Tatiana Suarez is going to knock out Jessica Andrade. We might see like a positional club TKO. Suarez inside the distance is at minus 160. That's worth considering. Suarez winning by KO, TKO plus 400. Suarez by submission, which I believe to be her most probable path to victory, is at plus money. You can get it at plus 120. So, if we want all plus money, if you just want the exposure of a plus of just let's think all plus money exposures. We take Jessica Andrade money line, Tatiana Suarez by KO, Tatiana Suarez by submission, and you just put your units out to cover losses and create profit for you. Small exposures, like quarter units, half units, whole units, and just cover your exposure. I mean, and then you just pray that Tatiana Suarez doesn't win by unanimous decision or take the good decision, which I really don't see that. I just don't see it. I don't see it. So what would be interesting? I don't think they're married yet, but Patchy Mix, friend of the show. What up, Patchy? Patchy Mix and Tatiana Suarez are engaged, I think. Something like that. If Bellator goes under, Patchy comes to the UFC. I think Patchy's a bantamweight contender in the UFC. I would, dude. Patchy versus Aljo would be sweet. I would love that. That's a doozy of a fight right there. Patchy versus Aljo. That would be sick. Yeah, you could get your first man wife like championship combo right there. It's probably your best bet of that happening since Brian Caraway and Misha Tate broke up. The Kid Lightning, Brian Caraway. What's up, dude? Where is Brian Caraway, dude? You talk about punching above your weight class. Goodness gracious, Brian Caraway, what are you doing, buddy? Oh man, Misha Tate, let her go. Come on, Brian. Come on, Brian. All right, Kid Lightning. All right. So Diego Lopez money line, and then Jeremiah Wells money line. Women's Science with the finish props added in. 2 more plays to consider. Both of them underdogs. We're going to consider 2 other underdogs. First underdog we're going to consider is Damon Jackson. Now, why on earth would we ever go against Billy Q? Right? We don't ever go against the triumvirate of Billy Q, Bill Algeo, and Julian Erosa. But Juicy J's lost. I just have there. Okay, let's throw all analytics out of the side here. Let's just throw all the analytics away. I just have a weird feeling Damon Jackson's going to beat Billy Q. That is the only. I have no other back on this. You watch everybody else's YouTube show, listen to every other like podcast out there if you want to. My sole basis for Damon Jackson versus Billy Q, picking Damon Jackson, is when they announced that fight. When they announced it, I looked at it and I went, Damon Jackson's going to win that fight. Huh. And that's it. That's all I had. That like I looked at it and it was like Damon Jackson's going to win that fight. Now, that could have been staph infection talking. I could have been drunk. I don't know, bro. I don't know. But I have no basis for this. Look, Damon Jackson's got a little bit more experience. He does not have the chin to bang with Billy Q. He doesn't have the cardio to bang with Billy Q. But that dude finds himself in such weird spots. And Billy Q, this was where we circle the whole thing. This is where everything comes back around together again. Billy Q goes back to what we talked about before. Billy Q will follow him to the ground. He'll follow him to the ground. He won't stand there. He won't call him back up. Now, if you're on Billy Q, we know a couple things. We have a couple in-house rules when it comes to Billy Q. We never bet Billy Q in line or in round 1. You always bet Billy Q if you're going to do money line, but then you do to win in round 2 and to win in round 3, because you have to let him build into the fight, right? You always have to let Billy Q build into the fight. That's the way he gets going. He doesn't really just, come out like a house on fire. He has to, you got to stoke the flames a little bit, right? You got to get him into it. So when we look at those things, right, under 2.5 rounds becomes a very, very playable thing, because we know Billy Q builds into the fight. Damon Jackson is not allergic to violence, but he is violence averse. He doesn't particularly want to be in the blood and guts wars, which is what Billy Q is going to do. So if we take the finishing ability of Damon Jackson with the cardio and relentless pace of Billy Q, under 2.5 sits at -115. That's a sweet spot. That's a very, very good spot for us to be in, because if we buy the extra 2.5 minutes and go fight doesn't go the distance, you're up at the 170 mark, right? So we're losing quarters on the dollar there. So we don't want that, right? Let's see here. So Billy Q in round 2 plus 425, Billy Q in round 3 plus 500. Now, if you're on Damon Jackson, it's the other way around. We go round 1 Damon Jackson at plus 1200, round 2 Damon Jackson at plus 1400. Those are the ways we're looking at it. So we're looking at trying to get super plus money on the boys, and we're going under 2.5. But straight money line, I like Damon. I just for this, just the I'm just going. I just looked at that fight and I was like, Damon Jackson's going to win that. So that's the real in-depth analysis right there. Okay, last but not least, underdog. I want you to consider. And I like this because just I'll pause for a second because you're thinking in your head, who's it going to be, right? Because you could say, well, it could be Dustin Jacoby. Dustin Jacoby, glory kickboxing experience. He's been around for forever. Isn't Kennedy Njekwe the real deal? Is he streaking? Is he not? I mean, what do you say about the 81-inch reach of Kennedy Njekwe, Dale? How would Dustin Jacoby work his way around that? Yeah. Or you go, is it Ludovic Klein? Right? We know how much you love your Eastern Europeans. But the cage is too small. He's not going to be able to work like that. So then what do? Who's the only other one that we should really consider out there? Is it the All-American wrestler Cody Durden? Hell no, it ain't. It's Hani Barcelos over Kyler Phillips. We're taking. I want to take Hani Barcelos over Kyler Phillips, and I only want that based on the line that you're giving me. Because I can't fathom in my head why I'm getting Hani Barcelos at plus 180 against Kyler Phillips. Make that make sense to me, right? Well, Kyler Phillips, he's like Southern California Jesus that knows Kung Fu. He just comes out there with his flowing locks of love, and he's just gonna, he's gonna come out there and rolling thunder kick and do all this other stuff. The MMA lab, they're on a tear right now. Okay, totally get it. Sure, go for that. But does he have one punch put you to sleep power like Hani Barcelos? I don't think so. Does he have that weird thing where like every scrub Brazilian knows is like better at jiu-jitsu even than like most Americans that are pretty good at jiu-jitsu? I think so. I think Hani Barcelos is better everywhere here, outside of cardio, outside of pace, maybe creativity, outside of a reading test, maybe outside of like a spelling bee. I think Hani Barcelos is better everywhere. I think he's going to beat. I think at plus 180, he's worth a gamble. I think he's absolutely worth a gamble. He's like, we got to remember, just a few fights ago, like up until the Victor Henry thing. Like let's think about this for a second, right? So we get the win over Khalid Taha. Sure, that's fine. Okay. He lost a super close fight against Timur Valiev. Timur Valiev is very, very good. Okay. The Victor Henry fight was the thing where people are like, I don't know about that, man. I really don't know. He goes out, beats the shit out of Trevin Jones, which he should have done, which is fine. And then he lost to Umar Nurmagomedov, who was supposed to be headlining, but he's not. But it is what it is. I like Hani here, man. I think that his level of competition and the losses due to that, I'm not putting a lot of stock in that. He lost to people that are very, very good. And I don't necessarily know that I'm willing to throw Kyler Phillips into that, right? Kyler Phillips beat Marcelo Rojo, beat Song Yadong, and but outside of that, Cameron Ells, Gabriel Silva, I'm not in it, man. I don't get it. I mean, he lost to Julian Paiva. He lost to Mowgli. So no, man. No, I'm on Hani here. I'm on Hani. I think that's a good spot. I think that's a very good spot. All right. So let's review the plays we're considering this upcoming weekend. UFC Nashville. We're taking Diego Lopez money line. We're on Damon Jackson money line. Hani Barcelos money line, Jeremiah Wells money line, and then we're looking at Jessica Andrade and the various finishing props. Okay. As far as a main event winner goes, just to go ahead and just breeze through that, Corey Sandhagen should win this fight. He definitely should win this fight. What this will tell us, though, if Rob Font wins, is whether or not Corey Sandhagen is destined to forever be a bridesmaid and never be the bride, right? Like, this is a fight that Corey Sandhagen absolutely has to win. He'll never be taken seriously as a contender. He'll never be taken seriously as a contender if he does not beat Rob Font. He has to beat Rob Font. So a couple props to consider in that regard. Again, Rob Font fades as fights go on because damage accumulation is a very big deal if you're Rob Font. So Under 4.5 rounds is at even money right now. And I can't, we should probably call it six plays we like, because under 4.5 seems where it's at. Because Rob Font, his ability to handle damage cumulatively is very poor. And Sandhagen has not only the penchant for finishing fights, but he has a killer instinct. The only time that I really wish he would have, that we really didn't see him execute on that killer instinct was in the TJ Dillashaw fight. He really kind of never really got out of second gear there. He put it in the second gear, but he never really just pushed it. So some things to consider. Sandhagen wins in round 4 is at plus 1,200. Sandhagen wins in round 3 plus 900. If Rob Font can make it that long, I don't see Rob Font knocking out Corey Sandhagen. Again, Corey Sandhagen better pray it doesn't happen. But rounds 3 and round 4, you're damn near plus 1,000. Yes, I know. Okay, I knew it was gonna come in here. Don't sleep on the New England cartel, Boston. Calvin Cater, Tyson Chartier, friends of the program, friends of the show. Rob Font has never been on the show, and that's not a reason for me to bet against him. However, if I'm looking at the New England cartel, if we're being honest with each other here, he's not trying to think here. He's not the sturdiest leg of the tripod. You know what I mean? He's not the sturdy. He's got the most miles on him. What about Nacho minus 185? Okay. Look, again, there's plenty of options available to us here. And I think this is if you got beat up, gentleman wager of a 4-pack. Yes, gentleman wager of a 4-pack. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, we'll do that. I'm in. I'll do a 4-pack of a craft brew. Yep. You let me know. We'll make it happen. I'm in for that always. I'm always down for betting random stuff here. We can do it. Okay. All right. I'm going to cut you guys loose. Listen, it's been great. I appreciate everybody that showed up tonight, for real. Thank you. Everybody that downloads the show but doesn't do the social media, the live stream thing, I appreciate you tuning in for this episode. Feels good to be back. I was under the weather, so everybody that checked in throughout the process, sent me things on X and Twitter and all that kind of stuff and all that. I appreciate you. I really do. So be good to each other, and I will see all of you on Saturday. Seriously. All right. God bless you. We'll see you.